everyone, and welcome back to Royalty Soaps. So today I am so excited to be collaborating with one of my favorite soap makers of all time. Her name is Bee and her company is Sorcery Soap. So she has made all of the embeds for the soap that we're making today, and the soap that we're making is 221 Baker Street, which is inspired, of course, by Sherlock Holmes. I will apologize slightly in advance because my voice is a little bit scratchy. The allergies in Texas are really bad, and yeah, so they make me sound a little bit froggy, but hopefully you can overlook that. So the first thing that we're going to do is mix up our lye water and our oils together. My oils have gotten a little bit cold, so they've sort of made a little film there on the top, so I'm going to mix them up first. And now I am going to pour my lye water solution down the stick blender here. The stick blender I'm using today is from Brambleberry. It's an awesome stick blender. Highly recommend it. So now I'm just going to mix this up till light trace is achieved. Okay, so this is the desired thickness that I want for this soap. So I'm going to set my stick blender off to the side. And then the three colors that I've picked are very kind of regal looking. They're also very masculine. I thought that they pretty much encapsulated Sherlock Holmes. So I have this Aztec Gold mica here. This is from TKB Trading. I have some black oxide here. That's from TKB Trading. And then I have some platinum gray, and that's also from TKB Trading. So this is going to be a gold, this is going to be black, and this is going to be kind of a silvery gray color. And one of the things that I really wanted to make sure that I did with this soap is not make the inside way too intricate, way too eye-popping, because the embeds that Bee created for me are so intricate. I want them to be the showstoppers of this soap. So the inside is going to be a little more plain because the top and the piping are going to be the things that I really want people to notice. So I'm just going to do my best to pour these in equal portions. If they're not entirely equal, it's not that big a deal. You're not going to be able to tell once I pour them all into the soap. I got a scrapey my container because I'm not putting anything else in here, so any soap that gets left is just going to be wasted if I don't scrape it out completely. Okay then, so I'm going to mix this up, try to get those colors good and incorporated. Now that these have all been mixed up, I'm going to scrape down the sides just to make sure that all the colors are super good and incorporated. And now that that's done, it's time to add the fragrance oil. So the fragrance oil I'm using today is tobacco leaf and amber. This is a Wholesale Supplies Plus fragrance oil. It is very tobacco-y smelling. The amber really comes through strong, and because Sherlock Holmes was known for smoking a pipe, I thought what better scent to put in this than tobacco. Which also means that this soap is definitely leaning towards the masculine. I personally still love this fragrance. I have actually used it on myself in my perfume oils before, just because I liked the way that it smelled on me. But if you're looking for something that a husband or significant other, or maybe just a really good friend of yours that's a guy, would enjoy, this scent is definitely on that list. And I've had a lot of requests recently for people asking for more masculine fragrances. So this is one that would definitely please the masses in that arena. I'm stirring in this fragrance oil by hand just because I don't want to take any risks with it. I've never actually made soap with it before, but so far, no ricing, no acceleration, no separation, and no seizing. Pretty much everything looks perfect. So if you're thinking about buying this from Wholesale Supplies Plus, with my recipe, the same recipe that I have listed down in the description box below, it performs excellently thus far. I will also say it is a really strong fragrance oil. Okay, so now that these have all been mixed up, it is time to start pouring them into the molds. Okay, so my molds have been lined, and as you can see, I have marked them here with a Sharpie so that I know exactly where each cut is going to be. These are the 5-pound wooden molds with the sliding bottoms. These are from Brambleberry. I've been using them for absolutely years. I love them. I highly recommend them. So the first thing that we're pouring in is the gray. I'm not going to try to make any specific design. I may or may not put a hanger through it, just depends on how thick it gets towards the end of my pouring. But I'm starting with gray, then I'm gonna go on to the gold. I don't know, this might look cool just kind of doing a drop swirl. And again, it is staying pretty fluid here. Moving on to the black. I am trying to pour a little bit less of the black, and from now on I will probably try to pour smaller portions than I did that first time, like about this much I'd say. Pouring smaller amounts in tends to make a bit more of a detailed swirl on the inside. So I'm now gonna speed up the video because I can tell this is gonna take a really long time.
Try not to punch it.
Okay, so I am now going to scrape out the rest of these buckets, kind of put what's left on the top there. This looks so pretty, this marbly look. This fragrance oil definitely decreased the trace speed. So when it was thicker, it made it thinner, which made pouring really, really smooth. So if you like doing really intricate designs, this fragrance oil would probably be really, really good for you. Right, so like I said, gonna scrape these out, plop them all on the top, and then we're going to move on to piping, and I will talk a little bit more about the embeds that I will be placing on the top because they are so cool. So while the piping is setting up, I thought I have to show you a close-up of these embeds. These are all hand molded out of cold processed soap. So you see here, we have a magnifying glass, we have a little like leather bound book, and then we have a pipe. And let me tell you guys, these magnifying glasses actually have melt and pour in the middle of every single one. So there's actually a glass in the middle of all of them. I can't even imagine how long it took her to create all of these. They look absolutely perfect. And all of her soaps that she sells in her shop, all of them have handmade embeds like this, hand molded, handcrafted using her soap clay. It's absolutely phenomenal. Also, she took way prettier pictures than like how I'm showcasing them right now. So I will insert those pictures right here so that you can see them to their full glory. So for the piping today, I'm trying to keep it relatively simple. Like I said, you guys just saw the embeds. You know that they're absolutely like fantastic. I really want to give those the primary showcase on the soap. So I'm just going in with a large round tip and the Royalty Soaps piping set available at nurturesoap.com. If you buy the piping set between now and when my baby is born, then all of the proceeds are going to my midwifery and birth center fund. I've colored this with titanium dioxide. Makes this beautiful shade of white. This titanium dioxide is actually from TKB Trading. I got it from Wholesale Supplies Plus last time, but I found that theirs just wasn't as white as I wanted it to be, and it just took a lot of titanium dioxide to get it to be the white that I wanted. So I switched to TKB and am a lot happier, I think, with their titanium dioxide. So I'm just putting 3 little dollops across, just like so. The piping is still a bit marshmallowy. I'm trying to work a little bit faster because there's so many embeds that I have to put on the top that I just wanted to make sure that I have enough time to get all of them good and stuck on there because you don't want them to fall off. So Bee's soap embeds are actually, they're really small, but I am shocked at how hard they are. They are harder than some of the cold processed soap bars that I felt. They're just like extremely durable little things. And she put like mica brushing detail work on the book, like to make it look a little bit old and weathered. Specifically on the green ones, you can see that she's brushed it to make it look, again, like kind of weathered and to give it some dimension. It's just, oh my gosh, the thought that went into those is just blowing my little mind. And all of her soaps are like that. All of her soaps are that detailed. She'll make a beautiful bar of cold process, and then on the top are all of her hand molded embeds. And one of my favorite ones that she does is like a little cheese with a tiny little mouse. It is so adorable. And actually, just so you guys know, she sent me for my wedding some hand molded fairy things, and I gave them away as part of my wedding favors. Everyone that came to my wedding got a succulent, and they got one of B's little soaps. It was either a mouse or a little gnome that she crafted. It's just, oh, it was so lovely. My mom, to this day, has 3 of them sitting on her desk, and she won't let anyone touch them. So of course I will leave links to B's YouTube channel and her Facebook page and her website down in the description box below. And then anything else I can link, like I know I can link her YouTube channel up in the upper right hand corner with the little eye right now. You absolutely have to go check her out because she has videos of her like demoing her soap molding stuff. It's extremely therapeutic and entertaining to watch. So now I'm just trying to put a little tiny dollop right here in the middle. I'm trying to make this more even across, then I'm trying to build it up because I really want the embeds to kind of be on the same level instead of having one that's like sticking up way further than all of the other ones. So last week we did the Dragonfire and Brimstone soap, the Lord of the Rings inspired soap. Now we're doing a Sherlock inspired soap. I'm just trying to hit all the fan bases. I should do a Doctor Who soap because I actually like Doctor Who. I'm not like a super huge Doctor Who fan. Like there's lots of people who like it from like the 80s. I don't like those. I just like the ones with David Tennant and Matt Smith. I'm gonna be honest. I am totally not like a diehard fan. I just like both of those actors a lot and what they did with the character. Another thing that people said that they wanted to see was Harry Potter inspired soaps, like to do one for each house. And that's a really good idea. I know exactly how I would do it if I did it that way. And I watched those movies for the very first time not that long ago, and I really like my favorite character by far, like no one else even comes close to how much I love this character, is Luna Lovegood. I think she is a darling. And after I watched all those movies, I went and took like 7 tests to see which house I am in. And if you guys had to guess, you should guess down in the comments before I tell you right now, and then you can see if you were right. So guess right now, guess which house you think I belong in. I'm gonna spritz this real quick with rubbing alcohol while you're doing that. And then let me tell you, the house that I belong in is Hufflepuff. Which does not surprise me at all. So I'm gonna start on these by placing the books in. I'm also making sure that the pretty sort of binding that she put on the top is sticking up so that people can see it, because you see there's a flat side here and then on this side there's the binding. So I'm gonna do that. Also, I am definitely going to have to cut this with my single bar cutter, which is from Bud's Wood Shop, by the way, because these embeds are just barely, I'm just barely able to fit them all in, and I don't want to take any chances at all. Yeah, B is definitely an example of a true soap artist. I'm so privileged to be able to call her a soapy friend of mine. You guys make me so happy. I can't tell you, I've had kind of a rough week, I'm not gonna lie. Things have been a little bit difficult. Just in my personal life, I just have to say that I am just daily encouraged by you guys and how kind y'all are to each other and how kind you are to me, and just what a happy, friendly community we have here on YouTube. It really, really just encourages me to stay positive and to keep creating. Okay, so all the books are in. Okay, so now it is time to put in the magnifying glasses, and I don't know, let's see, I'm gonna have to kind of experiment with how I want to do this. because I don't know if I want them to be standing up a little bit. Yeah, let's go with flat. I think that looks good right there. I'm just gonna kind of put them in like this. This is really hard to do with gloves on. Okay, so I'm gonna take my gloves off. If you are a beginner soap maker, I absolutely do not recommend this. I don't recommend this really if you're any sort of soap maker, but this is just too difficult. Remember that I have a lot of experience making soap, that I'm being extremely careful here. I'm definitely not gonna get any on me, but it's not the best practice. Also, my hands are clean. I had someone make fun of my fingernails. I can't remember which video it was on. I think it was on the one where I did the anthropology DIY, and someone was like, your fingernails are so gross, I wouldn't trust you to make any bath products when your fingernails are that dirty. And what that person didn't know is that my fingernails are actually stained from some of the colorants that I was pouring. So it looks black underneath my fingernails, but it wasn't actually dirt. And I got the biggest kick out of that. I thought that was so funny. All right, now it's time to put the pipes in. Eee! So I'm gonna just place it right here. This is like Sherlock's desk, almost. It's like Sherlock's study, as it were. Maybe I'll call it that instead. I wasn't like super committed to that name, to the Baker Street name, but I still thought it would be kind of cute, but now I'm kind of like, maybe we should just call it Sherlock's Study, because that's kind of what it looks like. Okay, so there's one done. I'm gonna go ahead and put the embeds on the other soap, and then I'm gonna bring you in for a close-up so you can see just how awesome it is. Okay, so this is what the finished bars look like. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. Oh. They're just fabulous. So I'm gonna let these sit for about 18 to 24 hours before I cut them. And then we'll come back and slice into these beautiful Sherlock bars. Okay, so we are back the next day. As you can see, I have cut up some of this loaf already so that everything would fit into the shot here. Had to move my tripod there slightly. It's kind of in the way. And I'm gonna just move this down. This soap cutter that I have, I think I said it before, is by Bud's Wood Shop. They're an Etsy shop. And this is what the soap looks like on the inside. So you can see very masculine colors there. Smells really good, and it definitely matches what is on the top. So the question of today only pertains to Sherlock fans. So if you don't like Sherlock Holmes, then you probably won't be able to comment on this one. But the question is, do you like the Sherlock TV show, the British one, it's just called Sherlock, more, or do you like the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock movies better? Caleb, you want to weigh in? Do you like the Sherlock movies better with Robert Downey Jr., or do you like the Benedict Cumberbatch Sherlock TV show better?
Probably the Cumberbatch ones, but I really do like the way Robert Downey Jr. did that role.
I do too.
I think I like both. Well, I would probably stick with the Benedict Cumberbatch one though.
Yeah, I think I would too. I really like what Benedict Cumberbatch did with the character. I think he was the pretty much perfect encapsulation of it, but I liked that the one with Robert Downey Jr. was actually set during the time period that Sherlock Holmes was written, and it wasn't a modern day interpretation. So there's things to like about both of them. To vote, you can click the I in the upper right hand corner of this video. Thank you so much to B from Sorcery Soap for collaborating with me this week. These are some of my favorite soaps I've probably ever made, and it's mainly because your embeds are so great. You guys be sure to go check her out. I've got all of her stuff in the sidebar and down in the description box below. I hope you all have an absolutely royal week, and until next time, bye for now.